Okay, thank you so much. Hello everyone. My name is Julieta Saucedo. I um, I am with La Semilla Community Farm, and today I'm going to share with you a little bit about our farmer fellowship and this sequence of cohorts being farmer fellowship improving climate resilience in the Chihuahuan Desert. Uh, Today, we're going to have later in the presentation some past participants of the fellowship with the structure it had in the past, and then and then we also have our other farmer mentor here with us that is going to share a little bit about the colores. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Haley Chavira, which is our farm education assistant. She's going to be the she's going to be moderating that and keeping track of that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put them there. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. So here is our agenda for today. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit about La Semilla and how this fellowship started, and then about the 2025 Farmer Fellowship Program details, what are the mentor sites, and then past participants are going to share about their experiences, and I'm going to talk to you about the application process, and then there will be some Q&A information. And I just realized that I didn't put the contact information in the slides, so Haley is going to put the contact information for um, the email in the chat. But thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining us today. So La Semilla Food Center, the main goal is to foster a healthy and fair and sustainable food system in the Paso del Norte region. And this particular fellowship is hosted in Community Farm, in the Community Farm program. The community farm was established in 2010 when we received a donation of 12 acres of land. And since then, farm staff been working arduously to make it an agroecological site that is also a demonstration farm and is like a curated farm where that is not only focused in production, but it's also like an educational space and a cultural space. So there are a lot of things that happen at the farm that go beyond growing food. And that is because we we do the best we can or to our best capacity to build on agroecological practices that is pertinent to the Chihuahuan Desert, right, and to where we coexist. And La Semilla as an organization has different programs, and all of those programs are in one way or the other connected or having active efforts to have an agroecological practice. So we are at La Semilla Community Farm, but there is also Farm Fresh, which focus on supporting farmers in the form of markets and market outlets, and also like trainings for to better market the product. And then there's Edible Education that works mostly with school districts, community education, that works with the community in general, and community centers and clinics. There is Policy and Community Development, and that one is a very interprogrammatic program. But if you have heard about the Farm Bill, that is like that being its most or its strongest focus in the past couple of years. But they do other things in terms like everything you can think about food justice and policy. And then we have storytelling that is more than PR. or at least that's what the director once said. So it's like they shift narratives, they hold the stories, and they share the stories of the foodways and all the food stories in our region. Um, so those are the programs that we have at La Semilla. And you can always find more information about each of those programs in our website. So how or this fellowship started, or how did it came to be? Um, so it was a dream for a while of the executive director to have this training program in place. She went and took and did a training somewhere else, and then came back, and then it was years of preparation to start the fellowship in 2021. Um, and it was established as a regional comprehensive, small scale integrated and agroecological training program for beginning farmers. And you read here like desert adapted beginning farmers with a focus on desert adapted agriculture and an agroecological training program, right? Like those are key terms in that because um, while we see agroecology happen in other like agroecological practices in other places or sustainable agriculture in other places, we don't see a lot of like desert adapted techniques. So and farmers that been farming in the desert for a very long time, like a lot of them, they already hold that knowledge. So part of this is like to also not only to train the farmers, but also support the farmers that are already hold this so valuable knowledge of growing and cultivating the land in the desert. And so it can become also like an intergenerational or like a dynamic of knowledge exchange between an agroecological network, which is ultimately what we would like to build. And initially in 2021, like we started with the USDA NIFA Beginning Farmer and Rancher Development Program grant, and that's how we were able to put it in place. And so we got it again, and we are doing another sequence of cohorts again, just with a little bit with some shifts in the structure. It used to be that the fellowship enclosed a lot of these things that you're gonna see here at the bottom. So are the sharing of knowledge or knowledge exchange sessions in the form of field trips, workshops, or integration days, just etc. And then like the mentoring, and then the farmer mentor support, and then technical assistance, right? But now, because this uh, this ecosystem had grown and had diversified, now the fellowship is this part. It's just this part. It will be like a standalone training program, hands-on training program. It is there are going to still be knowledge exchange sessions, but they are going to be um, they've been happening already, and they're going to be in the form of public community workshops and field days, and like crop specific or like just all this all this instruction that used to happen and be embedded in the fellowship now is separated and up into the community. But the farmer fellows are going to have access to all of this workshops and all of this instruction that is going to happen outside of the training. Um, and as part of the efforts with this, there is like also like supporting the mentors, but also like getting to do this workshops and this knowledge sharing at other sites, not only at La Semilla. So we become aware, the fellows become aware, and other farmers become aware that their support system can be bigger. Like it's not that they can connect with others and start building this support dynamics. And then we have a mobile toolkit that is support for our farmers and for our farmer network and for alumni that participates or had participated in the farmer fellowship. And here is a diagram of that ecosystem, like of support and of farmer network that we're trying to that we're working on. And it's like so we have the farmer mentors, and then we also have the farmer fellows, the beginning farmer mentors that are in category 1 and 2, but they are already been farming. And then we have all this education portion that is like more instruction structure, and then the farmer to farmer education and beginning farmers served by the mobile toolkit. And you will see that like you see the categories. So this farmer fellowship is targets farmers in category 1 and 2. And in the future, we would like to expand our network of mentors that would fall in categories between 3 and 5. We would also a lot of the sites where workshops and field days are going to be hosted throughout 2025 are going to be in sites that fall between categories 2 and 5. And here is a map of the like applicants that we have had in the past, like where have they been placed, and then like beginning farmer mentors that we have had, and the beginning farmer agroecology network that we have, like in green. So as you see, we are very focused in the Paso del Norte region, and that is because we want to support regional farmers. However, like everyone is welcome to apply, but we do want to focus in the Paso del Norte region. Now I'm going to go ahead and move towards the details of the program. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the time commitment, the stipends, and time off, delivers the knowledge exchange, and the mentor sites. Um, wait, there. So time commitment. What are you signing up your soul for? So it's going to be 20 hours per week, and schedule can vary by mentor site. We already know what the schedule is going to be at the Semilla Community Farm. It's going to be on the warm months. It's going to be Tuesday to Friday from 7 till 12. And then on the cool months, it's going to be also Tuesday to Friday, 8 to 1. And you fellows are going to be in the program from February 17th until August 22nd. That is roughly 6 months, maybe a couple of days more. But yeah, so it's going to be 6 months, 20 hours a week. And when fellows choose to go to workshops, that is not part of the training. So the hours are not going to be part of this, unless the workshops or the field days fall into a day where you're supposed to be at the mentor side. Then you communicate, and you really want to attend, then you communicate with the mentor, and if there is an agreement, then you can go. But yeah, it's but also like all the other the other events are not mandatory for fellows this year or like in 2025. Mm, and stipend and time off. So subsistence stipend. Uh, there is going to be a monthly subsistence stipend of $1,600. Um, and that is going to be in form of an it's going to be a stipend. Like we're going to ask you to fill up a direct deposit form, or we're going to ask the fellows to fill up a direct deposit form, and then they will turn it to us. There will be some paperwork, and then fellows are going to have to invoice the time that they spent in the training program, and then we are going to disperse the stipends monthly. There will be some time off, some paid time off. So there will be 1 week off of estivation. For those who do not know, estivation is like the opposite of hibernation. So it's the hottest time. It's supposed to be the hottest time of the year where not even animals or plants do anything and they just rest. So we try to mimic those stuff. So there's gonna be a paid week off from June 29th to July 5th. And then fellows are going to be accumulating PTO. Now you might notice the TBD there because that is to be determined. Uh, so we don't know how much PTO there's gonna be available for fellows yet. There's but there is gonna be at least 20 hours. So that's at least 20 hours of PTO you're gonna get. We are still determining if that is how it's gonna stay or if we increase it. And then so what do you have to do? What do we expect from you? Um, so there are like there is one delivery that we request, and it's the independent learning project. Now, in the past, there been a lot of freedom in the format, so it might stay like that, but a constant being that like usually fellows do something that is very analog, like a handout or they put together a plan or something like that. But the independent learning project is something that the fellows are going to be working on for the whole 6 months. The first month and a half is going to be a lot about determining what do you want to be learning about, or what knowledge that you already hold or that you already have, one you want to expand on and would like to share with others, because this independent learning project is going to turn into a knowledge exchange session at the end of the fellowship. So you're going to be facilitating that topic, or like the fellows are going to be facilitating that topic. It doesn't have to be individual, it can be like in collaboration with other fellows. Uh, what we do ask of this is like to be around an agroecological practice, uh, a production focused agroecological practice, meaning seed saving, uh, a specific like a specialty crop, how to grow it, like bed prepping, composting, I don't know, like just different topics, but that could be tied to agroecology. There will be workshops and field days that are going to be open to the fellow that they are not mandatory, but if the fellows um, have the time, or if your mentor tells you to attend to these workshops, like we will expect you to attend this these instruction sessions. And then we have um, two mentor sites this year. we have two mentor sites this year. We have La Semilla Community Farm and we have the Colores Foods and Farms. I I am very sorry, people, because I wrote farmas. I am very sorry. Very, very sorry for that. Um, but I'm very sorry, Yvonne. And I thought, and I did review it. I don't know. Anyway, it's La Semilla Community. I'm going to talk about La Semilla Community Farm, and then I'm going to give space to Yvonne so she can talk about the colores. But um, for those fellows placed at La Semilla Community Farm, we have different forms of production and different so we have our compost, right? Our composting system. We also have our perennials, our perennial crops. We have our fruit tree sections. We have the annual section. We also have the cover crops. But we also have like these other ecological services that the farm provides, right? We have a vegetative buffer that at the same time serves as not riparian raptor habitat. And then we do have the Chihuahuan Desert Food Forest, which is only forest, I mean, only plants, edible plants from the Chihuahuan Desert. And so we explore different forms of production. And at the same time, we host workshops there. Sometimes we have volunteer days. Sometimes we have youth programming going on there. Um, and we also have youth apprentices at the farm. So whomever is placed at La Semilla Community Farm is gonna be getting exposed to that kind of educational demonstrational farm ecosystem where you're gonna learn about ecological services, about about production, annual and perennial, um, and then also about farm education. So that's La Semilla. And now I'm going to let Yvonne talk about the colores.
Hello, everybody. My name is Yvonne Diaz. I'm the founding farmer at De Colores Farms and Foods, now based out of Anthony. In previous years, we had a couple of different locations, but this is for now the past 2 years or so, we've been establishing ourselves there in Anthony on Bullock Road. So I'm excited for this coming year to really start establishing that location. In the past, we've really been focused on production, growing a lot of crops year round and selling mostly to La Semilla Foods or Farm Fresh program. Um, so that's a still a major component of what we do at De Colores is have a good amount of production because that is the way that we are able to keep the operation going and able to afford paying for employees and keep doing what we do. But I myself started at a training program at the Anthony Youth Farm back in 2012, I believe it was, and found a lot of opportunities to continue farming, even as a landless farmer, by um, getting to know different members of the community that had the same interests and had land and water and just wanted to see their land in production. So I do believe there's a lot of opportunities like that. It's just something you got to be persistent about and look for and make connections. And I think this is a great way to start making those connections is being involved with La Semilla and their different programs. In 2018 is when I started De Colores, and we grow vegetables year round, like I mentioned. This will be the third year that I participate as a mentor. We've had 5 apprentices come through our farm, through our farm. Um, Basically, we try to keep up with planting on a weekly or every 2 weeks for sure. Once a month, we have to be planting pretty often so that we're also harvesting on a weekly basis. So we're usually harvesting and washing and packing. Those are some of the major activities that we have. But as I mentioned, this location is a location that in the next months and the months that this is scheduled for, I think that we'll have the opportunity to see a lot of the infrastructure for this farm go up. Things like building out a wash and pack station, hopefully getting a well installed, and other things that that small scale farms need to um, be the type of infrastructure that a small scale farm needs to be successful. So I'm still working out the details on the dates, but it's looking like I also have a part-time job. So I have to make space for that. So this year we will be working on Saturdays. It's something new that we haven't done in the past. And in the past, we also haven't focused a lot on the sales aspect as we mostly do wholesale. We mostly wholesale to food hubs such as La Semilla. But this year, if we do work on Saturdays, I'm hoping that we will be able to do a farm stand. So we'll have that experience for people coming through, for apprentices. So Saturdays, Mondays, and possibly Wednesdays. And similar to La Semilla's hours in the winter time, probably 7 to 1. And it's a little bit different. I know La Semilla 7 to 12, but since we're only working 3 days, it'll be a little bit longer of a day. So 7 to noon or 7 to 1 and 8 to 2. During the colder time, it'll be or later. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for now. Things might change from here to February. But I'm excited to be a part of the program again. And I'm excited that people are interested in farming.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank
Mhm.
you so much. Um, so just so you know, everyone, remember that you can drop your questions in the chat. Haley is monitoring them. And then at the end, we're gonna have space to answer all the questions, okay? Um, so now the rock stars of this presentation are going to share about their experience during the fellowship. So we have two great past participants in this call. So um, if I'm gonna choose Nicole to go first to share, if you can share with us about your experience and then Robbie.
Okay, hello, I'm Nicole. I was in last year's cohort and it was for 4 months. I was placed at Planting for the People, which was a community garden near downtown El Paso. And unfortunately, they're not there anymore. But I had a great experience. All of the people that I met were also really great. Everybody just has so much knowledge and information to share, and it's such a great community. Um, for many years, I had been trying to learn how to do this thing in the desert on my own, and just like trying to like look up videos and stuff on YouTube. And there's not really that much information out there like available on the internet for our region. And so it was really hard. So being in the program really helped like accelerate that like that growth and that knowledge. And since then I do have my own garden now, and I do grow some things. It's not very big in production just because it's really small, and I'm also still learning. I still consider myself a beginner, but it's been way more productive than anything that I've ever had previous to having this experience. And so it's really awesome. It's really great. And then all of the workshops and field days are just awesome as well. Anything else?
No, thank you, Nicole. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, Robbie, you're mute.
Apologies, y'all. I found it. I couldn't find my mute button. My apologies. Hi, y'all. I'm Robbie Kenny Brew. One moment, I'm going to tell dog to cut. My apologies. So I was a part of I am from the inaugural year 2021 of the fellowship. Really incredible experience. The fellowship dates for my cohort went from May to November 2021. So we got to experience farming, got the farming experience from the very hot months to the very cool months. Um, it was an incredible experience, incredible people, great training, great friendships, capacity building, and community building. We learned a ton about the agroecology as a practice. So looking at how to make farming sustainable. And I should mention, I was located at La Semilla Community Farm. So Julieta and Josh heard my voice all the time, every day, and I asked a ton of questions. And I still ask them a ton of questions, right? But there's so much to be learned and so much to be not just learn skills for farming, but in food justice and food equity and food sovereignty. Is really incredible experience because it wasn't just farming. When you see something that says like a farmer fellowship, people may think it's just farming. I'm just going to learn how to plant and do soil health and like how to diversify my crops and rotate them. And those are excellent. Like those are things you can do, like learning how to like walk the land in the morning when you get to the farm. Like you make your plan of what you're going to do the next day, but you get to the farm, walk the land, see what's going on. Those were great things to know and ways in which to understand the land and the work that you'll be doing, but also connecting it with the impact, right? So not just looking at here we are doing this production farm work. Who does this impact and how does it impact them and what is guiding us to plant these particular crops, right? Are we trying to plant things because we know that if we sell it, it'll be super we can sell it for a high price and get a lot of glean, like easy glean, a lot of money off of it. Are we being ecological with how we plant? Are we planting things like for the season and we're eating for the season, right? And ways to enrich the soil and to really give back to the earth. So learning it's not just farming, it is taking care of the entire ecosystem and understanding our role and our impact as humans within the soil and the soil health and plants. And then really in your body, like learning how to farm, like never in a million years would I have thought that I would be out on the farm, digging troughs for irrigation, pulling weeds, all the things, running from butterflies. So I'm afraid of those, and there's a lot of butterflies. Running from the thought of seeing hornworms. But it was so exciting. It was such a great experience. I still go back to La Semilla now, even after finishing in 2021. La Semilla is still a huge part of my life and a huge part of sorry, the dog's gonna lie in the background, y'all. You gotta ignore him. He's a pit bull. He's okay, I promise. But still a huge part of my life and huge part of my existence and the things that I was already working in food justice within the community and food insecurity. I feel like my learning from the people at La Semilla and the different farmer fellows, along with the other farmer mentors, are super valuable to me, and I literally carry them with me even still today. So, for example, I'm now in school doing a PhD program, but my focus for my program, for my PhD, is all about like food sovereignty and looking at food apartheid and breaking down some of the systemic and systems of things because La Semilla did a great job of getting me like involved in really thinking about responsible governance and policies and how that impacts what food we eat and looking at the entire system, food system within the Paso del Norte region. I would encourage everyone on this call and even people who may not be on the call that you know that may possibly be interested in participating in some type of farming fellowship to definitely do it. This is I can legitimately say life changing. Because I had a little garden at my house, right? And I have house plants, and those are nice. And I could grow those fairly well, especially when I remember to water them. But I feel like the farming fellowship really takes the concept of growing and gives you like a personal responsibility and personal stake in it. You really understand your place in the world and how important your impact is. And La Semilla as an organization, as a farm, as with all the different programming and the people are so integral and vital to the survival of the Chihuahuan Desert and of the Paso Norte region. Like this is incredible work. And to go to conferences and people see you and you're talking to them, it's like, oh, who are you here representing? And I say, I'm with La Semilla. And literally people are like, oh my God, you're a La Semilla? And they're like super excited. And I was like, Christina, that's the CEO. I was like La Semilla is kind of a rock star. I knew La Semilla was a big deal, but I didn't realize it was a big, big deal. Because the work that La Semilla is doing is groundbreaking, especially with the Farmer Fellowship. It's really incredible. And the people at La Semilla are genuine and they're incredible. And everyone, they're not just good at their jobs, but they're intrinsically motivated to do their jobs and do it well and connect. So I can ramble, so I'm gonna stop, but I just encourage everyone to, you feel it in your spirit, move forward with the process. It's been incredible and it still is giving to me and feeding my spirit even in 2024 as we get ready to go in 2025. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much, Robbie. Thank you for sharing all that. And thank you for feeding our egos as well with your kind words. But yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. If you all feel like what did I do? Hold on. Okay. So now what is the application? What is going to be the application process? And before going to this, I had mentioned in the past that this fellowship is going to be a little different than how it's been in the past. It's still production focused. It's still we're going to still be covering the agroecology principles defined by the FAO and La Vía Campesina. So like the focus in terms of knowledge and learning is going to be the same. The only thing that is changing is the structure. Like it's just the 20 hours a week are hands-on learning. There are going to be days where fellows are going to be working all together, but yeah, it's we're gonna have all cohort days, but it's going to be all hands-on the training, and it's going to be very production focused. But then we're going to have the workshops that are not mandatory, are not going to be mandatory for the farmer fellows, but the fellows are going to be encouraged to attend to those things. And all of those, and while hands-on you can also learn all the things that are going to be delivered in the workshops. There are going to be very specific things that maybe are very particular to a certain practice, to a certain system that you might want to not miss them, especially when they are field days at other farms, because I feel like when there are field days or field trips at other farms, those are like some of the times when you learn the most because you are seeing how other people is conducting their practice, right? So that is the only difference that is the difference that is happening that we have between this cohorts and the other ones, the ones that in the past. So now we are hold on, give me one quick second. I saw. Okay, so no, Haley is on that. But Haley, I think you sent me that direct message to me, not to the other person.
It's
So you
it's
know.
just an AI bot. We can forget about them.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you. I'm sorry. Um, and so let me talk to you about the application process. So you're going to fill up an electronic application. Then La Semilla is going to review the applications, the submitted applications. You can see at the bottom that the deadline for applications is January 8th of 2025. We're going to review the applications, and we are going to start reviewing them when we get back from break, which is La Semilla has a break from December 23rd until January 6th. No, January 3rd. And then when we come back, and so it's like a Friday, right? And then so we actually come back on the 6th. So we're going to start reviewing applications on the 6th, but however, from now until December 20th, which is a Friday, I would recommend like to email any questions that come up to you that you forgot to make in this session. But if you're someone that is seeing this that was not in the call, like right now, please email your questions as soon as you can after watching this, because is the best time for us to answer your questions. If you send your questions after December 20th, most likely a lot of us are going to be on break already, so we are not going to be able to get to your questions until we come back from the organizational closure. So just so you know that. So we're going to review applications, and then from the applications review, we will make a selection. Then from that selection, we're going to do a first round of interviews. From that first round of interviews, depending on how many applications influx we get, of course. But from that first round of interviews, we're gonna have another another selection, a semi-final selection, if you want to call it like that. And then we're gonna have a second round of interviews. So the first round of interviews most likely are going to be all a La Semilla. They're going to be in person, and the second round of interviews are going to be at the mentor site, where we think you would be it will be the best fit for you. And then after that is our final decision. We send the offer, and then that's it. But just so you know, I didn't put it here because also I don't want to set it in stone, but our plan is we are going to strive to be able to send all of the offer letters and our final decision at least 2 weeks before February 17th. So, but most likely, but we're gonna do our best, like to give as much time ahead before the start date, so you can make whatever arrangements you need to have to make in your life to be able to participate. And so I'm here. So now I'm going to quit this full presentation, and I'm going to show you, please don't judge my tabs, and I'm going to show you the application. So the link for the application is in both our website. Let me show you where in our website you can find it. You search La Semilla Food Center on Google, or you go straight to our link if you have access to it. You click on La Semilla's link, and then you're gonna go to About, and then you go to Join Our Team. And then in Join Our Team, it's gonna take you here, but in Join Our Team, there is there are like all the calls that are open right now. So you're gonna see go to where it says the 2025 Farmer Fellowship, and then you can either go to or programs tab, or you can go straight to the application, which is going to take you here. And here you're gonna find the full description of the program, like the dates of the time, like the time commitment, the subsistence stipend, how the fellowship is designed, which that we are designing a cohort system, like just all of this details, and then you're gonna have like different sections, right? So there is a contact and demographic sections where you're gonna put your names, your place of residency. The reason we asked the place of residency is because we are trying to support mostly people in the Paso del Norte region. Just typical demographic stuff. And then tell us about yourself. And here is where we want you to put the most effort on answering. Obviously the yes or no questions, just yes or no, right? But there's like the this this is the section that we're going to look at like with the most focus, like what does food justice or food sovereignty mean to you? What are your interests or goals, and why would you like to be part of this fellow farmer cohort? Farmer and what does a sustainable and equitable food system, like all of these questions is where we want you um to share the most you can. I mean the most within the limit that it gives you. But and we want to know what we want to know the most is about your practice. If you already have a practice, if you want to expand that practice, and like where do you want to get with that practice? Like that is like something that we want to know. So with that said, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to open the space for questions. So let me have this like this. Okay. So are there, I see like that Josh did answer some questions, but there are, thank you, Josh, by the way.
Julieta,
So
oh, sorry.
dime.
Sorry to cut you
No.
off. I don't know if chats are recorded. But should I read them out loud, the questions?
Yes, please read them out loud. And
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So one person asked, can you talk about how the focus of this year's fellowship differs from the 2023, if at all? And Julieta answered earlier that the structure is mainly the difference. Then the bot, and then so the field day workshops are outside of the 20-hour commitment. And so we answered that they are optional but encouraged. Or Josh answered. Correct. They may be exceptions along the way, where they are included in the hours, but for the most part, workshops are optional. Someone else asked, is the start month negotiable? For example, if someone could start the program on April 1st and end up program later, is that a possibility? So there may be a little bit of wiggle room on the start date, but not enough for the example above. There will be a additional cohort starting towards the end of 2025. And then I think that's it.
Yeah, so there is going to be another cohort towards the end of 2025, and there might be another one after that one, but yeah, like if there might be, in the past we have given wiggle room, like for a few days, like I don't know, like the first, not even, yeah, like not even the full first week, like sometimes like just like they come, because the first week of the fellowship is the whole cohort working together at La Semilla. Uh, so they build relationships and they start liking or disliking each other. So there's so that's why it's important that at least like one day of that orientation week, uh, everyone is able to start throughout that week. But it's we have done it like in very specific uh situations where like it was a great strong applicant and with a genuine intention and with a practice already, and then this participant like was moving like during that week, was like we're her moving to town was happening, like she was moving back to town, right? So there's like that kind of those kind of situations are the ones that where we can have an exception, but just like a 2 weeks is it's just too much. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have another cohort at least. So mm, yeah. Also, do you have questions for past participants or for Yvonne? Is here? Yeah, she's here. Mhm. No, no questions. Um, when? Uh,
I have a question.
mhm.
Can you expand on the agroecological practice? No, not the the project.
The independent learning project.
Learning project. You
Yes.
said it was around agroecological practices, but maybe like more examples. Just like
Yes, definitely. So there, in the past, like some fellows have done like handouts, of like either like the in the form of scenes or like uh pamphlets that like of like one was about amaranth and how to use amaranth as a natural dye. And then another one, I might mix up like the youth apprentices as well, but like which just like it can be that, right? And then it can also be like a presentation or a hands-on activity. Like one fellow in the past, like did a facilitated how to cultivate mushrooms in buckets, and then made this instructions set that handed out to the people around. That was one. Then another fellow like presented and had like physical examples on how to make a pesticide with wild tobacco. Um, so there was that. And then someone else did like a little scene on a Korean ferment method. So and then she explained it and like and show us examples of how that would work. Can you recall any other, Josh, that like
I was
that have
asking in the chat if Nicole, Robbie, or Orlin wanted to share their experiences.
no,
Um,
'cause yeah.
for me, I did mine on Devil's Claw and like the like the history of it, or yeah, I guess the history of it, and like what the traditional uses for it were. Um, yeah, and like the seed saving act, or what was the importance of seed saving and stuff. Oh no, actually, I'm sorry. My project was originally about seed saving and the importance of it and like preserving biodiversity in our food system, and then like the plant that I chose to talk a little bit more about was Devil's Claw and like the history of it and what it was used for.
I remember Ramin did one about the birds that were commonly seen around the farm area, and it was also an artist and did some really beautiful drawings of the birds. Suela did one on the use of the ollas, like the clay things for kind of small scale irrigation in a way that conserves water. I did one on prospects for growing quinoa in northern New Mexico.
Hey y'all, mine was a little different. And again, I was in the first cohort, so I'm sure that because of what I did, they probably put some guardrails around what is and isn't acceptable. But I did a business plan for a mobile grocery store, because something that I kept seeing as a recurring theme was like access, access, access. And a lot of times people look at access as in there are places you can get food near you, but is that food ecologically grown? Is it healthy? Is it free of like all the pesticides and chemicals? Is it organic? Is it something that fits within your cultural scope of things that you indulge in or eat or that nourish you? So my concept was creating a business plan for a mobile grocery store so they can go to different areas of the community and have those types of foods available, and the hopes that that food would be free. And then it also had programmatic aspects, and I get that from Semilla, right, where there was an area where like a facility where like they train you how to grow and how to utilize agroecological practices. I'm sorry. Hey y'all, one moment please. Sorry, children are wrestling. Gotta wrestle, right? It's bedtime. They need to go. That'll happen soon. So it was interesting to me because it allowed me to utilize like some of my background and from my background knowledge and experiences and marry it with like the idea and the concept of like making the food system equitable, more equitable within the Pacific Norte region. So a little different because I didn't really have handouts. I mean, they could have asked for a copy of my business plan. I don't think anyone was that interested in reading it, right? But just thinking about the business aspect of how we make food available within our food system.
We do have it, Robbie. It was a great business plan. FYI. And we actually, that is something that we encourage fellows to do if that is something that they want to pursue in their ILP, like a business plan or a crop plan or like all of that planning that a lot of times is sidelined because we romanticize farming a lot, but like the planning is so important in farming. So no, Robbie, it was not because of you. Oh, yeah. Any other questions? No. Facilitating knowledge exchange. It will look however you want to make it. That sounded very vague, I know, but it would look like a presentation. It can look at like as a presentation. It can look as a workshop. It can look as a panel. I don't know. Like it will be something to work through through the 6 months. But yeah, as I said, like that facilitation can be a guided activity. It can be a presentation of a business plan. It can be like a demonstration as well. So depending on what topic you end up choosing, we will work with you to make the deliverable like also like easy for you to not like create like a big burden, but also to make whatever like would work best for you for that topic to happen, if that makes sense. I
Okay,
don't know, Josh, do you want to?
I think she might have been asking what our knowledge exchange sessions look like and like how we facilitate them, not necessarily the ILPs.
They are even more diverse. Just kidding. But so our knowledge exchanges, how they will look like, or how they look like are, I don't know, we just had a workshop on record keeping for organic production, for example, and that was like there was like a presentation. Um, there was like a presentation and but also like within the presentation we were sharing like it was not just me, it was like co-led with and mainly led actually by Rodale Institute, but like we gave examples on like how to like different templates, what's ombre, what are different things, how to know which materials are allowed in organic production, how to track the input of those materials, and then some activities like with they had to make a map, attendees had to make a map of their land because that is something that you need to do with organic production. Um, Josh, it says that we have to facilitate some of these knowledge exchange sessions. So the only the only thing that you're gonna facilitate yourself is um, your topic, your independent learning project. That's the only thing. It's only one time, and it doesn't have to be like a whole hour of facilitation. It is gonna look more like probably 2 or 3 days that where we are going to have like time allotted to do more than one facilitation, ILP's facilitation, unless you want to do like something huge. But um, I I would recommend to keep your life simple. But if you want to go big, of course, por supuesto. But yeah, it will be like mostly like you're gonna have to facilitate like probably 20 minutes, uh, 25 minutes at the most of something of whatever topic you choose. But you are gonna choose the topic. We are not gonna be like you have to present on this or you have to facilitate on this. No, uh you choose whatever you feel comfortable with it. Okay. Bye, Yvonne. She's already gone, right? Yeah, I'm saying bye to people who is not here anymore. Um, yeah. So more questions or comments? Nope. Cool. I'm going to stop recording. Uh, and for those who are seeing this after this info session, thank you so much for watching it. Please send your questions before or like on by December 20th. If not, know that as soon as we come back from our break, we're going to tend to those questions. Thank you.